Good morning, everyone. This is Kyle Snyder, and I'm here with Jenny Hart, a good client and friend of mine for many years. We're here to do the very first American Title Stats video. So welcome, Jenny.
Thank you, Kyle.
So I picked Jenny as my first guest because Jenny and I did many stats videos over the last few years, and now we're just flipping it. That was her video. Now I'm doing the video, and hopefully we can bring you some good information. So many of you receive our stats report from First American every month, and it covers Boulder, Longmont, Fort Collins, the whole northern Front Range, and we've seen a lot of increasing prices, shrinking days on market, and shrinking inventory. So with that, if you need a copy of the stats report, just email me at ksnyder@firstam.com. and I will put you on the list to get that every month. But in the meantime, we want to see what somebody on the street is doing and seeing in the market. So Jenny, I got a couple questions for you. Ready?
I'm ready.
First of all, how many years have you been in the business now?
I've been in the business 5.5 years.
5.5 years, all with Keller Williams.
Yes.
And I want to tell you guys, Jenny Hart got into business with no experience, nothing else, worked her tail off, and she's a very successful realtor throughout the Front Range. So she's very qualified to answer these questions. So my first question: with the average prices soaring, that's $673,000 in Longmont,
Wow.
$1.6 million in Boulder. When do buyers just throw in the towel and quit participating in this market?
Honestly, none of my buyers are quitting or throwing in the towel right now. We're getting creative with other terms, other financing options. I've got a great in-house cash buyer program where it gives them an unfair advantage. We have a third-party company. They buy the home cash so we can be competitive with the multiple offer situations and close in 7 days. And then my buyer just refinances in a traditional loan.
But the prices aren't scaring them away yet.
It's not. And I think, what we've seen over the last 5-10 years is we're in a bubble, it's going to burst. We're in a bubble, it's going to burst. We're in a bubble, it's going to burst. It's not bursting. Interest rates are going up and the demand is still short, or the inventory is still short. The demand is still high. People have to find places to live. And I think the savvy business people know that real estate is always a good investment.
I posed a question to people: if they knew that the market was going to crash back in 2008 or 2009, would they still buy a house in 2007, 2008? And they're like, yeah, because prices have tripled since then.
Right. If you can hold on to it, you're always coming out ahead.
What's going to happen in the next 14 years?
Right. My crystal ball's broken, but I'm still buying real estate.
Me too. I am as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so your expertise is in the Carbon Valley, Frederick, Firestone, Dacono. That's your home market. That's where you know and work the most, and where you're well known. But like most realtors, you go where your buyers want to buy and go where your sellers need to sell.
Yeah, within reason.
And so what do you see as some similarities and differences up and down the Front Range? You've in these markets that you've looked in or worked in recently.
Yeah, I work from Denver Metro up to the Wyoming border, and I have seen high demand, low inventory in every city, every town, every county, at every price point. I've been in multiple offer situations in the $1 million price point, just as much as the $400,000 price point. With that, the drive for people to buy homes a few years ago was, I want my kid in this school district, or I want my commute to be within 10 minutes from the office. Well, now no one really works in an office anymore. Unfortunately, you do, sucker. But now it's not, this is where I want my home. It's, I just need a home, get me in a home, right?
Wow.
They just want to buy. They're not being picky.
Wow.
Because I don't know, right? You're the stats guy, but I'm seeing anywhere from 2 to 3% increases each month.
Well, if you've got 25% price increase over a year's time, that's 2% a month.
Yep.
And it's month over month over month, we're seeing the same thing. And I had hoped to see a flattening of prices last year, but that didn't happen.
No.
All I can hope for is that with the increase in interest rates, that we have a little bit of that this year, because I just don't like seeing the prices going. It takes too many people out of the market.
It does. And again, with interest rates increasing, I absolutely don't foresee a crash. I see a little bit of leveling. We're still going to increase in price, though. Hopefully not like this, but more like this.
Yes. The icing on that argument with there's no crash is I look at the foreclosure list, and there are foreclosures. It's a list that covers from Wellington to Pueblo,
and we're seeing a little more right now.
There's a few more. There's about 60 foreclosures filed every week. The real proof of the pudding is how many of those actually get foreclosed on. That's a notice of election and demand. But 120 days later, how many of those actually get foreclosed on? And there's like 5. So that's like 20 a month from Wellington to Pueblo. And a lot of them are in Pueblo, folks. Yes, there's too much equity.
Right, yeah. People, the 08, the 09 crash was caused by loose lending. People were buying homes who couldn't afford homes. But now people can afford them. The lending restrictions are tighter. And with the amount of equity we're building, a lot of my clients who've only owned their home for 5 years, if overnight they lost half their equity, they'd still be ahead right now.
Yes. Well, there you have it, folks. Straight from somebody working the streets, talking to buyers, talking to sellers, and visiting all the neighboring towns. Thank you very much for your insight, Jenny.
Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate it. Take care, everyone.
Happy to have you. And everybody, we'll see you again next month. Thanks so much.
Take care.